Alright guys, Darren from Honest Money and welcome back to another video. Now a few weeks ago I released a video covering the fact that I was thinking about starting a print-on-demand business, and as part of that process I had ordered samples from lots of different suppliers. Well, those samples have all finally turned up, and what I want to do in this video is go through them one by one and give you my first impressions on the packaging and on the shirts themselves. So from each supplier I ordered two samples, a black shirt and a white shirt. And the white shirt is the male version and the black shirt is the female version. And on both shirts we've got the Honest Money branding. So hopefully that will give you a really good idea of the type of quality that these suppliers can provide. So this video is the first in a two-part series. So today I'm literally just covering the samples themselves, opening them, looking at the packaging and giving first impressions. Whereas in next week's video, we're going to get into things in a bit more detail. So for each supplier, we're going to look at some of the technical side of things, such as which platforms they integrate with, what shipping costs were, and stuff like that. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel for next week's video. But for this week's video, let's get straight into these samples, and I'm going to give you my first impressions. So first up, we have a company called Inkthreadable. They've actually sent the t-shirts in separate packages. So I've already opened them, but I haven't actually looked at the t-shirts. So let's pull out the first one, which is the male version in white. I'm going to come back to the packaging in a second. So this is the male t-shirt. This is a medium sizing. And my first thoughts are the t-shirt quality feels okay considering the price. The print quality looks average. I mean, you can see how strong the Honest Money pink branding is on the monitor, but I don't think that really stands out to me at the moment. So that print quality to me is only okay. I'm interested to see how other samples compare to that. Let's take a look at the female version. Before I do, just a note on these packaging. These are kind of like a craft brownie paper, quite thin. They're okay though. They're better than some of the plastic bags that some of the other samples are coming. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if my samples come in this. It would be nice if these actually come in maybe a protective plastic bag or something. I know it's obviously better for the environment for that not to be the case, but just pulling out a t-shirt out of a kind of a very thin brown paper bag envelope isn't the best opening experience. So this is the ladies version. First impression, this is super thin. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The ladies can let me know in the comments below. This is very, very thin, and the pink on there looks even more faded. I don't know if that's just because it's on the black, but if you compare it to the pink on there, it looks even more faded. So first impressions are, these samples seem okay. The pinks seem okay. That's probably the best overall conclusion I can give you at the moment. But like I say, in next week's video, I'll be able to give you some more detailed observations as I'll have a bit more time to look into these samples closely. So up next, we have got TwoFifteen. Now, if you look at the Inkthreadable website and the TwoFifteen website, the actual functionality is almost identical. So I did think these maybe are the same company, but I don't think that is the case. Now these guys have actually packaged both t-shirts into the same package, which I think is a good idea. Hopefully that will save customers on shipping, and we're going to come back to shipping costs in next week's video. The other thing is this brown paper is noticeably thicker than that as well, so that does give an overall better impression. So let's pull out these t-shirts and see what they actually look like. The first impressions are not good. I've actually got the ladies one on top, and the pink, that is super faded. I mean, if you put that next to that one, there is a noticeable difference that is faded. So at the moment, Inkthreadable, from a print perspective, is doing a better job than TwoFifteen, because to be honest, that looks terrible. The white version seems to be much closer, I would say. If you hold those up, you know, the pinks are pretty comparable on those. I would say this feels like a slightly higher quality t-shirt. This one is obviously a different style of ladies t-shirt, so they didn't actually do a cheaper style ladies t-shirt like Inkthreadable did. So TwoFifteen is effectively a unisex version, so these are probably exactly the same t-shirts. One's just sold as a male, one's just sold as a female's t-shirt. So overall, if you bought that as a small for a lady, I think that is quite oversized. But again, we'll come back to it in the next week's video. All of these t-shirts I'm going to try on, or should I say, I'm going to try on all the male t-shirts, and I'll get my wife to try on all of the female t-shirts, and then we can give you some feedback on the fit as well. So I'm just going to hang these up. Okay, so next up we have Printful. Now Printful are slightly different to Inkthreadable and to TwoFifteen, as those guys are based and ship from the UK, whereas Printful ship from Latvia. So first impressions, it comes in a plastic bag, which isn't overly great. I actually do prefer the thicker brown craft paper that TwoFifteen were using over the Inkthreadable one, and also the plastic bag that Printful are using. So let's pull out these t-shirts. Now this is the sort of thing I was hoping I would have seen already. is that they come in protective clear bag. I think that's a really, really nice feature. I know it's not good for the environment, but I do think it inspires a little bit more confidence when you pull these out of a bag and they look like this. So let's open these up. So the first one we've got is the black one, and already without even opening it, you can see that the pink is quite faded. So let's open it up. Also, these are folded better. Those guys were folded pretty poorly. Maybe it's because that's what they move around in the larger envelopes, whereas these are kind of secured up in those smaller clear bags. First impressions, this feels all right. It feels kind of medium thickness. This is the ladies version. You can see for a small, it's quite a bit smaller than that one, but bigger than the actual one that is a ladies design. This is more of a unisex design again. The pink is probably up there, or close, I would say, to Inkthreadable. It looks better than TwoFifteen. It's more of a darker pink than this, but they're both, I would say these two are comparable, even if they are slightly different shades of pink, whereas that one for me just looks faded. Whereas the white one, let's open this up. I think that's probably the most vibrant pink we've seen on the white t-shirt, so I quite like that. I think they've done a nice job. The t-shirt again feels quite nice, so overall I think Printful have done a reasonable job there. Possibly my favourite so far, but again it's hard to tell until I look into these a bit closer and actually try them on and see what the fit's like. But so far, yeah, Printful is looking reasonably promising. Next up, we have the samples from Streetshirts, or also known as T-Shirt Foundry. I found that out when I submitted a support ticket and it come back a different company name. Now again, this comes in a plastic bag, and on the front, unfortunately, they have the Streetshirts branding. Now, I'm not sure if there's anything they can do about it, but definitely be aware of these if you are considering using Streetshirts as your supplier. So let's take a look at the T-shirts. Now, they put both T-shirts in one bag. They seem to be fairly neat, and it feels like there is some paper in here, which is a gift voucher. Thank you for ordering from Streetshirts. So again, I don't know is this because I ordered as samples or whether they'd be doing this to all customers. But definitely check this if you are going to be ordering from these guys. And let's take a look at the t-shirt. So we've got the white one first, which is the men's shirt. Now this t-shirt feels crusty. That sounds a strange thing to say. Those all felt quite soft. They might have felt thin or thick, but this one feels rough. It feels like it's been washed too many times. So that's going to be interesting to see how comfortable that is when I try it on. The colour, quite like the vibrancy. However, you probably can't see it from there. I'll get it a bit closer. But there's some very, very faint vertical banding on that pink. So it hasn't been printed consistently. And that's an immediately obvious thing. But the vibrancy is quite nice and the logo does it good. But like I say, this feels quite crusty. So I'm intrigued to see what that feels like on. The ladies version, again, that vertical banding on the print is even more visible there. So not a huge fan of the print quality, and like I say, the t-shirts feel a bit crusty, but they were one of the first to arrive, and if I recall correctly, they had the cheapest shipping as well. But again, we'll go into that into next week's video, so let me hang those up briefly. And finally, we have the samples from Teespring. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know I didn't actually order from Teespring to start with. I ordered samples from those 4 suppliers, and then a week or two later, I found out about Teespring and ordered samples from those guys as well. So Teespring has come in separate bags again, which isn't ideal. Like I say, I prefer it when it comes in one bag, because it's probably just increasing postage costs and also increases the chance of one of them getting lost. So let's pull these out. We've got the men's version and the ladies version here. So the men's version in white, folded quite neatly, which I like. The t-shirt feels quite nice, especially compared to the street shirt ones that I just had. That feels quite nice. And funny enough, actually, it has the same logo there, which is Gildan, as I think the third one. I think that was Printful, I think. So Printful and Teespring are possibly using similar t-shirt suppliers. Not saying they're using the same prints methods, but they're using the same supplier. The Honest Money logo I think looks really nice. So there's no vertical banding. It's a nice solid colour. The vibrancy is pretty good. So I think they've done a reasonably good job of that. And the t-shirt feels quite nice. The black version, on the other hand, I think the logo looks terrible there. So that is a huge difference in quality between the white and the black version. I'll try and hold those up so you can see. But look how faded that black version is, and you can see the black coming through from behind. So if you're going to sell from Teespring, maybe just focus on selling white t-shirts and not black t-shirts. So overall, quite impressed by the white one, not so impressed by the black one. Again, this feels like a harsh, crusty t-shirt. This feels lovely, soft and comfortable. But I'm going to look into these in much closer detail over the next week, and then I'll be able to report back in next week's video, hopefully giving you a few more additional findings to what we've observed today. So hopefully you guys found this video useful. If you have, please scroll down, hit that like button. It'd be really appreciated. These samples cost quite a bit of money, and it does take a little bit of time to put this video together. So you can hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to see part 2 of this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in next week's video.